continuing to do what they can to keep things moving.
Floodwaters never breached the building, and crews kept the water contained to the parking lot. You know, all over Sonoma County, floodwaters really cause a lot of trouble spots. You see it right there out on the roads. The rescue workers, they had to tow that car out of several feet of water. The driver trapped trying to make it through the flooded road in Grayton, just west of Santa Rosa. Really, turn around, don't drown, everybody. It's just not worth it. Not only the roads, the relentless rain flooded this vineyard. This is in Sebastopol. So you see that drone shot there swooping then up above, and it just shows those grapes have some wet feet there, and that's damage. Some who live in the area worry this storm is only the beginning.
I guess the concern is really, starting this early, how long this goes on. If this goes on all winter long, we could have serious problems.
Well, this just in, Sonoma County's Office of Education just released a new list of school closures for today. They include Credo High School and Gyersville Unified School District. Those are in addition to the more than half a dozen schools and school districts that were already announced. Now, here's that full list you can see on our screen there, but more closures could be added. We just saw that happen, so check the County Office of Education websites for the latest information. Well, a flood warning is in effect for East Central Sonoma County at least until 4 o'clock this afternoon. Multiple creeks have already overflowed, and the National Weather Service says numerous roads are submerged. So Veronica Macias joining us live right now, this time from Rohnert Park. Veronica, we're seeing the rain coming down. What have the conditions been like, or what are you seeing this morning on the roadways?
You know, it really is like Jessica mentioned. Sometimes it just feels like they open up that fire hose and it's coming down really hard. Here on this road, I could tell you all along this road, you're going to see yellow signs like these saying flooded. But here we're seeing this entire road closed, and just up ahead, we saw a couple of cars coming from the middle of the road back down because it's not safe to go through. So this is exactly why crews have this blocked off this morning. And all along Santa Rosa in the city, we know that people are having to be very mindful of where they're going because you have the flooded signs posted everywhere. Now, we have seen several crews going and checking on spots that have seen minor flooding. We also know people have been submerged in water in Santa Rosa within the last 24 hours. There's been a couple of incidents. We also know individuals who tell us that they've lived and grown up in Santa Rosa their entire life. They feel like they haven't seen a storm like this in quite some time. And already people are starting to see water coming into their homes.
It's coming in, yeah. We have it's never been a garage, but it's like a conversion room out there. It's like a rec room. And it's water's coming in. And I just got new carpet in there too.
Really? It's unfortunate for him. And we also know that the municipal yard here in the city of Santa Rosa, that is around the clock, open around the clock for people if they want to continue going to grab those sandbags, Gianna.
Yeah, and this is just in Rohnert Park there. We've seen a lot of these road closures throughout the morning in parts of Santa Rosa and even north of there. So Veronica, thank you for that update.
Hello, hello. Good morning, everybody. We are looking at our first atmospheric river of the season. It has arrived. It's brought a widespread rain all across the Bay Area. And as you can see behind me, that rain's still falling. In fact, we're getting an even stronger round of rain that is arriving this afternoon. Let's take a look at the big picture pattern, though, because that's one of my favorite things to see, because all of this moisture is originating from the central parts of the Pacific Ocean. It's traveling thousands of miles to get to us. And as it does so, it's brought us a lot of rain. This is a rain loop over the past 24 hours. Quite a lot of rain has fallen over Northern California and the Pacific Northwest. It's created quite a lot of destruction and damage. And unfortunately, for those of you who've seen a lot of rain, a lot more is on the way. But the good news is, those of you that haven't seen a lot of rain in the Bay Area, more is on the way for you this afternoon. As we're looking at the defined comma-shaped atmospheric river, what we are used to seeing, this is a textbook picture of an atmospheric river and associated bomb cyclone that's just allowing this moisture to continue to stream into Northern California for days on end. We're going to continue to see this moisture streaming through all weekend long, although you do notice it's not cloudy and it's not moisture filled the entire time. So tomorrow we're actually looking at a break, and it should be a pretty nice Saturday. Sunday is actually going to be trending drier as well before that next storm system moves in by Monday. So we are expecting again today to be that heavier line of rain, maybe an isolated shower or two this weekend, but then that secondary round of rain on Monday will be a bit stronger. And you notice it's also a little bit farther south. So South Bay communities, this is now the time that you're going to start to get in on that moisture and a little bit more of that action as that fire hose continues to stream in and move up and down across the California coast. And as it does so, it's going to continue to stream in rainfall. And that's the reason that officially atmospheric river season has begun. We'll continue to see waves of rain over the coming days, and that's exactly what we have been seeing. A radar loop over the past 4 hours is showing you quite a lot of that rainfall, and it's mostly over the North Bay, just like it has been for the past couple of days. But I promise you, more rain is on the way, as a stronger band of it is going to set up across the North Bay communities early this afternoon. This is our view at noon, where heavy rain is going to be falling across the North Bay, and the heavy rain luckily will be pushing farther south. It's not going to stay stagnant over the North Bay all afternoon long, although they'll definitely get in on the most moisture throughout this morning and even into the early afternoon. This is our view at 4 p.m., where those stronger showers will begin moving farther south. That includes for us here in San Francisco over the peninsula, and then that rain finally making its way farther south. So those of you who live in San Jose, down into the Santa Clara Valley, you are going to be getting in on at least a nice dosing of rain later this afternoon and evening. It's likely going to continue through the late night hours before very quickly dissipating by around midnight tonight. Overnight tonight, you might see a few isolated rain showers, but it's not going to be anything too impressive. Most of that activity will be dissipating into tomorrow. But tomorrow afternoon, not to say an isolated shower can't be ruled out across the Bay Area, it's going to be a lot less long lasting, and it's going to be a lot less widespread. So yes, an isolated shower is still possible tomorrow, but again, it's not going to be nearly as impactful, as we are going to be seeing quite a lot more rainfall on the way over the next several days. Let's take a look at how much we have seen, though, over the past couple of days. Let's take a look out at our live picture. I'm going to walk off camera really quickly so I can control this and show you all exactly what we've seen, because this is the Bay Bridge. It's a rainy day out there. It's definitely not one of those days you want to have a picnic or go to the beach, because we have seen a lot of rain even just this morning. Temperatures right now are mild. They're actually in the mid to lower 60s, if not upper 50s across much of the Bay Area. That's pretty comfortable. So a jacket, but not necessarily that crazy warm winter jacket that you needed when those temperatures were in the 30s. How much rain have we seen so far? Well, just this week, 20 inches of rain in Venado, and it's still raining up there. We are still adding additional numbers to these rainfall totals. 20 inches, that is nearly 2 feet of rainfall. Santa Rosa, you picked up a foot since Wednesday of this week. Those are some crazy high rainfall totals, and that's the reason that you've seen so much flooding damage, and you've seen downed tree limbs, you've seen some power outages, and that's kind of going to be the trend through this afternoon as well. So it's something we'll keep a very close eye on this afternoon too. In places like San Rafael, even though you aren't at that foot mark, nearly 7 inches, that is extremely impactful, flooding and ponding on the roadways has already happened, especially on those low-lying areas. All of the rain that we've seen over the past couple of days, again, most of it's been situated across northern California, but the wave of rain today is going to begin to trend farther and farther south. And like I showed you, San Jose, Santa Clara Valley, and Inland East Bay communities, we're all going to get in on this nice and abundant moisture. The winds, though, that's not necessarily the greatest news this afternoon. It's going to remain pretty breezy. It's not as breezy as yesterday and Wednesday, though, when we saw those gusts upwards of 45 to 55 miles an hour. We are going to see a good amount of rain today, and look at how far south it travels, anywhere from 1 to 3 inches all across the Bay Area. No longer looking at North Bay communities getting in at all of the action. We're all going to get in at least something. We're most of all going to get in at least an inch through the rest of the day today. Into tomorrow, it will be quiet. It will be quiet basically all evening Saturday and into Sunday. Most of the evening Sunday should be quiet as well. Not all too much to talk about Sunday afternoon. Like I said, it's trending a lot drier. It's not until Monday that we're actually looking at our next wave of rain that should arrive in the afternoon and evening hours and continue into early Tuesday. So this system, this activity is going to persist through early next week. We also have flood watches are in effect continuing across the North Bay, but we're also looking at river levels increasing significantly as well, and they're going to continue to increase through this afternoon. Always remember, turn around, don't drown. Wind advisories continue as well through 10 p.m. tonight, as we are going to continue to see those breezy to windy conditions all day long. But again, not nearly as windy as what we saw Wednesday and Thursday, but still 15 to 35 miles an hour. It's a hold on to your hats kind of an afternoon, and you will continue to hold on to those hats into Saturday as well. Something to keep your eyes on, and we're also going to be keeping our eyes very closely on the snow. Yes, not only rain, but quite a lot of snow is going to continue falling across the Sierra. That is the reason that they have seen a lot of travel advisories and travel alerts, and they're going to continue to see it through the weekend. Upwards of 4 additional feet of snow is possible. Great for the ski season ahead of us. Not great if you plan on traveling up there this weekend. All things to keep your eyes on, but do remember this active weather is going to stick around for at least the next several days, so keep an umbrella in your car and make sure you're prepared. Always remember, turn around, don't drown.
Well, let's head to San Rafael right now, where the strong winds and heavy rain toppled this massive oak tree on Thursday, pulling some power lines down along the way. And it also blew a transformer and knocked out power for people in this neighborhood. So the tree itself came down straight onto this homeowner's fence. You can see them working there. Thankfully, though, that was the extent of the damage.
This is what we live with on the hillsides of Marin. 2 years ago, it was something else. Yesterday evening, it was a tree. Tomorrow it'll be something else.
If you have trees on a hillside and the wind, you have a lot of wind, it strengthens them in that way. But I don't know, that one is so healthy looking, it's really sad.
Well, emergency officials say if you see a fallen tree or down power lines, report it immediately and keep a safe distance, even if it looks harmless. And all that saturated ground is what we're starting.
Well, this atmospheric river has not treated all of the Bay Area equally. North Bay communities anywhere from 10 to 20 inches of rain just since Wednesday morning, while San Jose, Santa Clara Valley, you haven't seen any. You've seen zero, zilch, basically nothing other than maybe a mist, but it was not any measurable precipitation. However, I promise you this afternoon that is on the way. Over the past 4 hours, most of the activity still remaining across our North Bay communities and maybe down near the peninsula, but we are going to continue to see this stronger band of rain set up into the early afternoon. It will set up over the North Bay communities. This is our view at around noon. It will continue to push south throughout the afternoon hours. This is from noon to 4 p.m., where San Francisco and the peninsula will be getting in on the heaviest of the rain. And then from 4 to 8 p.m., finally pushing down south, where San Jose and the Santa Clara Valley will be getting in on some very beneficial moisture. Now, how much rain can you expect this afternoon? It's not going to be anything crazy, but an inch or more in San Jose, down in Los Gatos, hey, we'll take it, as well as over an inch down near Redwood City, Half Moon Bay here in San Francisco. Widespread totals of over an inch from the South Bay all the way up to the North Bay is really great news. Other than the North Bay communities, we don't want any additional rainfall because they're already looking at flooding. However, they are looking at more rain on the way today, but they won't see the most extensive of the impacts like they saw on Wednesday and into Thursday when those 20 inches were picked up in Venado. It won't be nearly that much. It'll be a couple of inches this afternoon, drying out into tomorrow. Another storm system arriving by Sunday and into Monday, maybe even sticking around into early Tuesday before drying out into the middle parts of the upcoming week. So all things to keep in mind, and luckily Thanksgiving looks like it should remain dry.
So we continue watching weather impacts where all of our viewers live, neighborhood to neighborhood. It's important that we really get down and show you what's going on. Look at this. Heavy rainfall caused multiple creeks to overflow up in Sonoma County. We saw roads blocked off. It's been a mess.
It really has been, and the east central area of the county remains under a flood warning. That's until 4 o'clock this afternoon, so most of the day. Veronica Macias joining us live once again this morning from Rohnert Park, really kind of showing us the conditions, and it's sort of been a bit of a wave when it comes to the rain falling down in your area, Veronica.
It has, Gianna. Good morning. Here on Stony Point Road in Santa Rosa, I can tell you we've seen a number of cars here, several cars who are making these U-turns because the road here, Rohnert Expressway, is closed. In fact, we have a truck here who's going to try to take it. They have their blinker on, or maybe they're going to try to make this U-turn here, even though they're hauling a truck. But we have seen a couple of people one driver driving a Toyota 4Runner who decided to just disregard the road closure here and make it through the expressway. And because they had a truck, they were probably able to get through, but that's not what you want to do, because here in Santa Rosa, within the past 24 hours, we have seen cars that are submerged in water. And right now we're not seeing a downpour like we've seen earlier today, but the rain is going to continue here. So you know that the water level is going to rise. People in Santa Rosa telling us that they're just tired of the rain at this point. Some people who say they grew up here, they don't remember seeing a storm like this in quite some time. People continue to go to the municipal yard to pick up those sandbags. Already, though, unfortunately, some people are seeing water coming into their homes.
It's absolutely amazing. It's flooding my house right now as we speak. This time, it's really hitting me hard.
That municipal yard, we know, is going to be open around the clock for people who still need to go and pick up those sandbags to protect their property. Gianna.
All right, Veronica, I'll take it from here. Be safe out there by that road. We're grateful for your reporting this morning.
You're streaming CBS News Bay Area.
The atmospheric river season has officially arrived to the Bay Area. Widespread rain, and we're going to continue seeing it all weekend long. So if you had any weekend plans, they shouldn't all be ruined, actually. We should be finding breaks in the rain. So I'll break down the details for when those breaks will arrive in just a couple of minutes. But before we get to that, I want to show you what we've seen over the past 24 hours, because look at all that rain packing a punch over Northern California and the Pacific Northwest. It's created some widespread flooding concerns, down tree limbs, power lines, widespread power outages. And it's going to continue to impact us. But for the Pacific Northwest, they are going to get off the action as that atmospheric river begins to trend farther and farther south. And as it does so, South Bay communities finally going to be getting in on some of that action, as the atmospheric river that's been impacting us for the past several days will begin to weaken when it comes to the bomb cyclone to the north. So that's the reason that the stream of moisture from the atmospheric river will begin to make its way a little bit further south. So let's take a look at that, because again, we're expecting that stream to push farther south as that bomb cyclone begins to make its way farther inland. And as it does so, it begins to weaken and kind of fall apart. But you notice that stream of moisture is not going anywhere. So we're still looking at the atmospheric river impacts even without the bomb cyclone ushering in that moisture to our north. So maybe the impacts won't be as intense by later this weekend, but they're still going to be there. It's still going to be rainy as we step out into Sunday and Monday. But again, not nearly as the 10 to 20 inches of rain that we saw over the past couple of days, as the center of that atmospheric river was being ushered in by that bomb cyclone. As the bomb cyclone departs, so does a majority of that moisture, but again, it's going to be a bit more widespread as we step out Monday. That precipitable water stream continues to again kind of act like a fire hose, moving up and down the west coast of the United States, and we are going to continue to see it impact us through the rest of the year and into next year. It's the season. It's what we expect this time of year. It's our rainy season. It's our wet season. We made it through the dry season, luckily without too many wildfire issues, but let's hope that we don't get too many flooding issues, because with 20 inches across the North Bay, that is definitely cause for concern, and more rain is on the way today. It's currently falling across our North Bay communities. This is a loop over the past 4 hours where we are going to continue to see actually those showers strengthen and get heavier as another round of rain is on the way. As again, like I said, that center of the atmospheric river beginning to make its way farther south. So this is our view at noon. Heaviest showers will begin to set up across the North Bay. From noon to 4 p.m., that line of showers will make its way farther and farther south. So by around 4 p.m., the strongest showers will be for our inland East Bay communities over near the Oakland Hills and down in the peninsula. Now from 4 to 8 p.m., that's when the showers and heaviest activity will finally move farther south. So those of you who do live in the Santa Clara Valley and down near San Jose, you'll finally be getting in on the impacts of the atmospheric river by later tonight. I know you haven't seen anything quite yet, but by later today, we could definitely be adding up those rainfall totals anywhere from over an inch in some places down near San Jose and Los Gatos to nearly an inch and a half over near Half Moon Bay, Redwood City, Fremont, all above that inch-and-a-half mark. And you notice northern parts of the Bay Area and southern parts of the Bay Area all going to be getting in on very similar activity. So luckily, yes, you'll be picking up a little bit more moisture today. It's not going to be anything like 5 to 10 inches like what we saw yesterday and Wednesday. So luckily, it's not going to be nearly as dense of the rainfall as we step out in one location. It will be more widespread and more impactful for everybody. Overnight tonight, we are going to see a lot of this activity kind of fizzle out, dissipating. Not really seeing all too much activity for our overnight hours, but you can't rule out an isolated shower. Throughout the day tomorrow, it's going to be a lot more isolated as well. Maybe an isolated shower, again, especially across the North Bay, as that's where still the activity is centered. But it's not going to be as widespread. It's not going to be as long lasting. It's not going to be an all-day event tomorrow, but there is still likely going to be a few of those showers. A lot of the activity will begin to fizzle out, dissipating and quieting down by Saturday afternoon. You are going to be seeing a lot drier conditions. Although an isolated shower, you still can't rule it out, but we are going to be seeing a lot more quiet weather by the time that we step out for the later parts of the week and into the weekend. So nicer weather is on the way this weekend if you do have any plans, but definitely find breaks in the rain because it still is going to be raining across some of those locations. I'm going to head you over to this map and I'm going to step out and get my clicker so I can control this and show you all how much rain we've seen, because I told you some places have seen 10 to 20 inches. Let's look at what places have actually seen those high of totals. Venado, Santa Rosa. Crazy impressive rainfall totals. This is basically from the past 48 to maybe 52 hours. 20 inches since early Wednesday morning when the atmospheric river officially arrived. That is very, very substantial, and that does mean low-lying areas likely already ponded or flooding, and river levels are going to continue to rise as more rain continues to fall. And always remember, turn around, don't drown. These rainfall totals are no joke, but you notice San Jose was at 0. I promise you that rainfall number will be higher this afternoon as the center of the stream of moisture from the atmospheric river. It's been across Northern California, and we've been just on the edge of the moisture stream, so the South Bay community has barely gotten in on it. So today, finally seeing the edge of that moisture stream pushing farther south, you can literally see the center of that atmospheric river, and it looks like a lot of that activity heading towards San Jose. So finally, you'll be getting in on that inch to inch and a half of rainfall later this afternoon. A closer look at the timing of that rain. We are going to continue to see again it move across the area this afternoon. A bit of a break in the activity tomorrow, although an isolated round of rain can't be ruled out. You might see an additional 1/10 of an inch tomorrow afternoon. It's not going to be crazy impactful, and also not going to be crazy impactful Sunday as well. We're looking at that storm system trending downwards. Little, if any, rain Sunday afternoon. It's not until Monday afternoon and evening that third round of rain will officially arrive and bring more widespread moisture. But again, you notice those totals aren't anything crazy. We aren't expecting the amount of rain that we saw over the past couple of days this weekend, but additional rainfall totals on already saturated soils does mean flooding is going to continue to be a concern, which is why we do have flood watches that will remain in effect through early Saturday morning. But you notice that area in red, that's actually a flood warning that's in effect for the Russian River near Guerneville, and we are going to continue to see those river levels increasing through tonight. It's going to get over 33 feet, and when it does so, roads flood. We are going to be seeing flooded roads as those river levels continue to increase. So do not even attempt to drive anywhere around there. Always remember, turn around, don't drown. Not only has it been very rainy, but it's also been very windy, although today not nearly as windy as the past couple of days. We do still have that wind advisory in effect through tonight. Not only has it been rainy and windy for us, if you plan on heading up to the mountains, you might want to wait because it has been very treacherous travel with 2 to 4 feet of snowfall. I-80 has been closed. There have been multiple crashes. You don't even want to attempt to head out on a day like this. Wait until next week when it'll be a lot quieter and you can actually enjoy the fresh powder. All things to keep your eyes on, and make sure you stay safe with this atmospheric river that will continue to impact us again into early next week.
Well, it is a first alert weather day, and the mountain resorts in Tahoe have been seeing a lot of fresh snow this week.
Yeah, we're seeing it. This is a look at one of the cameras at Boreal Mountain Resort there. It looks downright charming this season. This is the opening for the season today. That's where we found Sakura Gray this morning. Good morning, and it looks like you are not only in the snow, but dressed for the snow. The people here in the Bay Area need to know it's dangerous getting up there, so just be careful.
That's right. You want to make sure you're prepared if you are heading on out here. Caltrans has advised people to have a go bag in the car with things like water, extra chargers, snacks, just because if you end up spending a little bit extra time on the road, you don't want to be straight out of luck. But again, we are live in Soda Springs at Boreal Mountain Resort celebrating their opening day. I'm joined here with Tucker Nord with Boreal Mountain. All right, it's an exciting day because you're celebrating an exciting milestone today.
That's right. Today is our 60th anniversary here at Boreal, and with that, we're doing $25 lift tickets for everybody today.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about the snow itself. We had a little bit of a combination between man-made snow and Mother Nature. What's it been looking like for the past few weeks?
Yeah, it's really been coming together here with our snowmaking system going around the clock with those cool temps, and then we got 22 inches with that last storm, which gave us enough to be able to open our Castle Peak chairlift today at 9 a.m.
So there's going to be a combination of folks showing up early to be on first chair, and then maybe some people heading on over here after work. What are the hours going to look like today?
That's right. We're open 9 a.m. till 8 p.m. So we'll keep the lights on for you. If you're working today and you clock out, you can still make it up the hill and get some laps in for opening day.
All right, well, there you have it. They're going to keep the lights on for you out here if you are heading over here after work. Remember to keep those supplies in your car if you do. Remember to have chains in your car as well, and keep monitoring. Caltrans actually has a phone number that you can call, and it's voice activated, and you just say whatever highway you're taking, and they'll let you know what the road conditions are. So save that number in advance on your phone, and then get out here, get ready to shred.
It looks like a lot of fun, Sakra. And the wind is kicking up too. I can see your hair blowing around. All right, thanks for joining us. I mean, truly, if you are going from the Bay Area, I was just looking at some of the roadway conditions. There is a tiny, tiny window like Saturday night into Sunday morning, but it's really not even worth it. It's just the conditions on the roadways are so tough.
I think it's different if you're already up there like her, right? If we have to trek up there, way different picture, because this atmospheric river is still impacting us in a lot of different ways too, and it is impacting them too. So as we take a look at the snowfall totals from this weekend alone, with the winter storm advisory and winter storm warning that we've been talking about all throughout that area, snow levels are down to around 5,000 feet, and we're still expected to receive more snow into this weekend, anywhere up to around 20 to 30 inches stretched throughout the Sierra. This is an impressive storm for them, but back here in the Bay, we have
Good morning. Happy Friday. We have made it through an extremely rainy week of weather as our first atmospheric river of the season. It officially has arrived, and you probably already know that just by looking outside. At least most of you should, although San Jose, you might not believe me. I promise you it's on the way, though. Right now, temperatures all across the Bay Area are extremely mild, so that warm winter jacket that you needed just a couple of days ago when our morning lows were in the 30s, you don't need that anymore. 60s with a warm winter jacket, you might be sweating, but a rain jacket is something that you'll definitely need. Maybe an umbrella. It might be less windy this afternoon. Even still, with that wind advisory in effect, might get a little bit of that umbrella blow inside out action. Either way, I want to show you all how much rain we have seen, because it's been some crazy high totals. In fact, Santa Rosa picking up over 12 inches. These are unofficial rainfall totals. They have not been officially verified by the National Weather Service, but still, if it is verified, this will be the highest or second highest two-day rainfall total on record for Santa Rosa. Those records go back to 1998. So for nearly 30 years, this has been the highest two-day rainfall total that you've seen in many people's lifetimes. So it's been extremely rainy. Yes, Venado, 20 inches. Oh my goodness. We don't have records that go back that far for Venado, but I'm sure it's at least in their top 5 two-day rainy periods on record. Now, San Jose, this is not record-breaking. It's not anything. But like I said, I promise you it is on the way as that stream of moisture will begin to center itself from the northern parts of California, and that wave of atmospheric moisture, that fire hose, will begin to spray a little bit farther south. So this is kind of what we've been seeing over the past 12 hours. North Bay communities, Northern California getting in on all of that action. But over the next 24 hours, look at where the atmospheric river begins to set up. South Bay communities, those of you that haven't seen a lot of rain, by later tonight, I promise you that you will. But look outside right now. It's raining out there, and I want you all to just be aware of that. Grab an umbrella. I'm going to run off screen right now and grab my iPad so I can show you our fun virtual reality set and all of the rain that is on the way and where you can see it exactly in real time. But again, right now it's raining. You can see the Bay Bridge barely out there. Not too much to talk about when it comes to that. But either way, it's raining and it is quiet. Not quiet, but quiet at least when it comes to not seeing any lightning or thunder, because there's so much cloud coverage. There's not all too much energy with this system. So current rainfall, again, over the past 4 hours, our loop is not necessarily crazy impressive. Again, South Bay communities, you might be saying, where is the rain? You keep saying it's coming, but I promise you it's on the way. Let's look at the rain over the next 8 hours, because that's when it will officially arrive. North Bay communities, noon. This is when you'll be seeing the heaviest activity arriving. And this line of heavier showers will begin to move south at around 4 p.m. So from 4 to 8 p.m., we'll be seeing this line of showers moving farther and farther south. So those of you who do live down in our South Bay communities, by around 8 p.m. tonight, you will be seeing some heavier showers. So any Friday night activities, you might be ruined by the rain. So grab an umbrella or make those outdoor activities indoors so they don't get too soggy, because overall we could be seeing upwards of an inch possible down near San Jose this afternoon. Los Gatos, well over an inch to nearly inch and a half. Half Moon Bay, over an inch and a half, along with Redwood City, Fremont, even here in San Francisco. Very healthy rainfall totals for places that have not seen a lot of this rain. But up north, places that have seen a lot of this rain, you're going to see a little bit more of the action, but you're not going to see an additional 10 to 20 inches like what we saw over the past couple of days. You'll be seeing an additional half of an inch to an inch. So it's nothing crazy. That is good news when it comes to flooding. But don't think just because you're not going to see a lot of rain today that it's not going to be impactful, because any additional rain on top of already extremely saturated soils is going to create ponding on the roadways. If any leaves or any trash or debris is covering areas that do filter the water and suck it down, we're going to continue to see that flooding. So make sure everything is clear and stays clear through the overnight hours, because although a lot of this activity will stick around through about midnight before dissipating, a lot of our overnight hours and early tomorrow morning are going to be mostly quiet. So waking up early tomorrow morning, An isolated shower can't be ruled out, but it's mostly going to be dry. So a dry most start to the day is expected. By tomorrow afternoon, again, an isolated shower is possible, but it's not going to be nearly as widespread or impactful, as long-lasting as what we're expecting today. So not to say it's going to be completely dry tomorrow, but you definitely should be able to find dry times tomorrow afternoon as you step out. So any Saturday afternoon plans, kind of track the radar, find dry times in between the rain. South Bay communities, again, you will be getting in on some of that action this evening and continuing through early tomorrow. Tomorrow afternoon, it will likely be drying out before additional moisture arrives Sunday. But by late Sunday evening and into Monday, that's when our next storm system is going to be packing a little bit more of a punch. But it doesn't look nearly as impactful as it did just a couple of days ago. So today's system does look like it's going to be bringing us the most rainfall over the next 7 days. So today's system, again, especially further south that you haven't seen all too much, get ready for it and pack an umbrella for any plans that you have. Saturday afternoon, I would pack an umbrella just in case, but you likely won't have to use it for most of the Bay Area. Sunday afternoon, an isolated shower possible, but it's definitely trending drier. Monday, that's when our next wave of rain will arrive, but it's not going to be as heavy or as widespread, and that will likely last into Tuesday. But by Wednesday and Thursday, look at the sunshine returning. It is so nice to see a sunny icon on our 7-day finally, and look at what day it returns for. The perfect time. Thursday next week, that's Thanksgiving. So we likely are looking at a mostly dry Thanksgiving, although longer range models are beginning to point at the chance for overnight Thursday and into Friday of next week, the day after Thanksgiving, to be a little bit more active. So we have quite an active pattern that is going to stick around again, at least for the next 5 days. I hope everybody has an umbrella handy. You'll definitely need it today, but find dry times into this weekend.
Read.
Yeah, and this is more evidence of the water that's just rising up there in the North Bay. Mendocino County, people close to the rivers and creeks are just downright nervous. So our Wilton Walker went to that part of the Bay Area to hear their stories.
Absolutely. It's been raining pretty solid for a day and a half.
On this second day of rain, Lori Tyson watched the creeks in her Ukiah neighborhood rise.
Wow, that's higher than usual.
And for a place that sees plenty of rain, the past 26 hours have been unusual.
We get a lot of rain, but this is kind of different because it's been really steady.
Yeah, I like to come out and check out the storm when it's storming.
This is a good one?
That's a pretty good storm, yeah.
Out on the coast, the surge off the Pacific was the kind of thing worth stopping to take a look at, even for lifelong Fort Bragg residents like Jim Matson.
Been some pretty good gusts here every once in a while. It rocks the car.
Traffic signs warned people to avoid driving if possible, and in the hills, Caltrans worked to keep roads cleared of debris, but as the rain adds up, the focus is shifting more to waterways that are starting to surge, and ground that is quickly becoming saturated. Runoff is now moving in every direction.
But this creek goes around and it goes through the neighborhood. The Russian River is down there and stuff, and it's probably really full.
Looking at the river, man, it's rising really fast.
And one focus is the Russian River in Hopland, expected to reach minor flood stage on Thursday night and rise into Friday afternoon.
This is not normal, no. It's come up really, really quick.
For 2 days of rain.
Right. Yeah, it's gonna be a heck of a couple days here.
Stay up to date with this current wave of rain as well as the next rounds moving through tomorrow and into next week. We are not done yet, folks. Our website, when we are not on air, can be a powerful source of information, KPIX.com, and also in the palm of your hand, the CBS 24/7 News app.
Well, this atmospheric river is not treating everyone in the Bay Area equally. We have seen so much rainfall across the North Bay, record-breaking, in fact, for some locations. Santa Rosa, over a foot of rain just over the past 48 hours. Venado, 20 inches. Now look at San Jose. Nothing. You've seen 0 inches of rain since the atmospheric river has started. But I promise you this afternoon, things are going to change very, very quickly. And as they do so, you'll be seeing quite a lot more moisture this evening. An umbrella is necessary for any Friday night plans that you may have. Let's take a look at how much rain you can expect through noon. A couple of isolated showers early this morning. Yes, likely, but not really going to be very impactful. It's not until later today. This is our view at noon across the North Bay that we are expecting that heavier line of showers to begin to set up. And that line of showers from noon to 4 p.m. will begin to make its way farther and farther south. So more of our inland East Bay and down into our peninsula communities, we'll be seeing those rounds of heavier showers. Then we'll be seeing from 4 to 8 p.m. that line of heavier showers pushing farther and farther south. So this is when in San Jose in the Santa Clara Valley, you'll be getting in on that moisture. An additional inch to inch and a half of rain is possible through tonight. So get ready for it. A lot more rain is on the way for those of you who live in the South Bay and might have been missing out on all of that rain and moisture from this atmospheric river. I promise you it is on the way today, drying out into tomorrow, and it's likely going to stay pretty dry into Sunday as well before our next system arrives into Monday and brings more widespread rainfall. But you notice our temperatures are going to stay pretty stagnant, slightly above average by the end of the week and into early next week.
You're streaming CBS News Bay Area.
The atmospheric river